glad to join you in holding this hearing today to examine the issue of visa overstays, those who enter this country through the proverbial front door but fail to depart in a timely way, and their effect on our nation's security. I know it goes without saying, and it has been said over and over again, and it is a reminder that I think, however, that is very important, that those who were engaged in the 9/11 horrific and heinous terrorist act were, in fact, some of them visa overstays. We have had that scar for now 12 years, going on 13 years, and it should be a very important reminder. However, we know that people who are visa overstays are, by and large, individuals who seek an opportunity in this country, or students, family members, but even beyond that, knowing that most of these are innocent and desirous of good things, this is an important process. And I want to thank the gentlelady from California and gentleman from Pennsylvania in the discussion of the markup were mentioning the idea of a concept to deal with visa overstays, which I asked to join them, and I look forward to my staff working with them so that we can present an idea that will be constructive. And I think this hearing overall will be enormously constructive as we move the Homeland Security Border Security Bill to the floor. We had a very active bipartisan discussion about visa overstays, as I've just said, in our recent subcommittee markup, H.R. 1417, the Border Security Results Act of 2013. Last week, I was pleased to support an amendment at the full committee markup of the bill to require the Department of Homeland Security to develop an implementation plan for a biometric exit capability at ports of entry, which is an essential part of our effort to address overstays. I'm committed to working with my colleagues on this very important issue. So far this Congress, the subcommittee has focused much of its oversight and legislative efforts on what DHS must do to better secure our land borders and the southern border in particular. While this is a critically important matter, it represents only one part of the broader border security and immigration enforcement issue. Addressing visa overstays is certainly equally important. Indeed, finding a way to deal with the overstay issue will likely be essential to any immigration reform and border security package considered in Congress. It is my hope that as the great work of this subcommittee, Madam Chair, continues and the moving of the Border Security Bill, that we will be in front of any question to be able to answer such, so that no obstacles stop us from doing what really will make this country safer, and that is comprehensive immigration reform. I want all the questions answered, and I want us to have solutions. And yes, I think it will be very important to put in new processes for this effort of visa overstays. Finding a way to deal with the overstay issue will be very important. Just this week, an amendment to address this issue was accepted at the markup of the Senate immigration bill. We have examined this issue regularly in Judiciary Committee, where I'm also a member. It is important to note that overstays are one of the reasons for many questions on the immigration control system. A small handful of those who overstay their visas may also pose a threat, as I mentioned earlier, as it relates to the 9/11 hijackers. There are many important questions to be answered regarding visa overstays, and I hope we can have a productive dialogue about some of those questions here today. For example, what security issues do individuals who overstay their visas pose to the United States? And frankly, I believe that an inventory of visa overstays is important, even as we try to craft a legislative fix. Is there an ability for DHS to know by having a list and date of entry and date of departure? Is that inventoried? Is that digitized? Is it on a computer? Can it be pulled up by birth date? So what is DHS doing to identify and locate individuals who are visa overstays but also may pose a threat? What are the indicia that are used to be able to track individuals even now without a better construct? What can be done to prioritize enforcement resources and enhance efforts to address overstays? I will say that I'm encouraged by the recent shift of overstay analysis and exit operation responsibilities from U.S. Visit to ICE and CBP. I'm hopeful that this new configuration of responsibilities will help ICE and its DHS partners address potential overstays in a more efficient way. I want to qualify and say that I am mindful that these individuals are mostly harmless, and that they are here because our immigration system does not provide them a pathway. That's why we must match these two processes together. I know that we have a very active business community on the southern border, active business community on the northern border. I know that business is done. I know that people come over with visas. Who knows what part of businesses, what part of families, what part of tourists, what part of students. We know that DHS currently has over 1 million unmatched records representing potential overstays. While these individuals have been and continue to be vetted against national security and criminal databases, we hope, we have no record of them exiting the country. DHS has reduced the number of unmatched records significantly from just a couple of years ago, but the problem persists. And I do want to take note of the work that DHS has done. I want to hear from ICE and GAO today about what more can be done to reduce the number of unmatched records, allowing DHS to focus on locating individuals who we have confidence are still in the country. I'm cautiously optimistic that given CBP responsibility for developing and deploying a biometric exit system will help DHS make progress on this long overdue mandate. I know as CBP and ICE come before these committees, sometimes they ask the question, what are we expected to do? I want to qualify for the last time as I close my remarks to indicate that we know that there are provisions such as prosecutorial discretion that ICE uses. I want to make sure that my comments do not in any way undermine my enthusiasm about that process when it is needed, when it is necessary, and when it is warranted. I also want to make note that we are running into, Madam Chair, some difficulties in a badging issue in my very large airport in Houston, Texas. I am thinking that that is an issue of sequestration and the lack of dollars. I hope that we will have that matter resolved. And so when CBP comes and ICE comes, I hope they know that we respect what they do. We want to hear about the concerns that they have. We want to make sure that the laws that they have to be merciful are not countered because we want them to be efficient and right. Congress first mandated an entry-exit system for visitors to the U.S. in 1996, and while DHS has made significant progress by implementing biometric entry system, a solution for biometric exit has been far more difficult. Let me just close by indicating that there has been a troubled history with the system of kiosks. We need to find a clear path forward on the biometric exit system. I want to hear more today. I want to know how do we work with the biometric exit system, and I'm pleased to see the improvements, but I believe it is very important for this discussion today to ensure that we have a very secure border and that we work hand in hand with the idea of comprehensive immigration reform. I thank the gentlelady for her yielding, and I yield back my time.